The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony became an emotional celebration of artistry, legacy, and rock and roll storytelling as the Killers paid tribute to the late Warren Zevon, a long-overlooked genius finally getting the recognition he so richly deserved. Held at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, the star-studded event honored icons across generations, but it was Zevon's moment that struck the deepest chord. Known for his sardonic wit, haunting melodies, and fearless lyrical honesty, Zevon's posthumous induction was met with thunderous applause, and a heartfelt performance that united the past and present of rock music. A long-overdue honor. For years, fans and fellow artists had campaigned for Warren Zevon's inclusion in the Rock Hall. Despite being one of the most respected singer-songwriters of the 1970s and 1980s, Zevon's induction had remained elusive, until now. Finally, in 2025, the Hall recognized him with the Musical Influence Award, acknowledging his profound impact on generations of musicians. From his early work with the Everly Brothers to solo masterpieces like Excitable Boy and Life'll Kill Ya, Zevon's career was a mix of brilliance, humor, and melancholy. His ability to weave biting social commentary into poetic lyrics made him a favorite among fellow artists, critics, and devoted fans. When Zevon passed away in 2003 after a public battle with mesothelioma, the music world lost one of its most distinct voices. His absence was felt deeply, but at the 2025 Rock Hall ceremony, his spirit was alive in every note. David Letterman's emotional tribute. No one was more fitting to induct Warren Zevon than longtime friend and talk show legend David Letterman, who had championed Zevon's music for decades. On stage, Letterman spoke not as a celebrity but as a man paying homage to a cherished friend. He shared stories of Zevon's sharp wit and fearless humor, recalling how Zevon once joked on The Late Show that the secret to life was to enjoy every sandwich. Letterman described that moment, which took place during Zevon's final appearance before his death, as one of the most profound lessons he'd ever received. In a poignant gesture, Letterman revealed that Zevon had given him one of his personal guitars during that last visit. As the crowd fell silent, Letterman brought the very same guitar to the Rock Hall stage, saying softly, "He's in my Hall of Fame, and now, finally, he's in yours." The Killers light up the stage. When the Killers stepped onto the stage to perform in Zevon's honor, the room erupted in cheers. Frontman Brandon Flowers, known for his powerful voice and commanding presence, addressed the crowd with reverence. "We wouldn't be the Killers without songwriters like Warren Zevon," Flowers said. "He wrote truthfully, he wrote fearlessly, and he wrote like a man who knew time was precious." Joined by legendary guitarist Waddy Wachtel, one of Zevon's closest collaborators, the band launched into an electrifying rendition of Lawyers, Guns and Money. The performance was raw, tight, and full of energy, a perfect balance between homage and reinvention. Guitarist Dave Kuning played Zevon's very own guitar, the same one that Letterman had kept safe for over 2 decades. The gesture moved the audience to tears, symbolizing the continuity of rock music across generations. The crowd sang along to every line, "Send lawyers, guns, and money, the shit has hit the fan." It was classic Zevon, unflinching, defiant, and darkly funny. A legacy of craft and courage. Zevon's induction wasn't just a nod to his hits like Werewolves of London and Excitable Boy. It was a recognition of the depth and literary brilliance behind his songwriting. His songs blended sardonic humor with piercing honesty, often exploring mortality, love, addiction, and American absurdity. He was a rock and roll poet who never shied away from the uncomfortable. Artists as varied as Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, Jackson Browne, and Fleetwood Mac have cited him as an influence. While his peers achieved more mainstream fame, Zevon built a cult following of musicians and critics who regarded him as a true songwriter. That influence, subtle but enduring, has shaped artists like The Killers, Father John Misty, and the War on Drugs. A ceremony full of meaning. The Rock Hall class of 2025 was stacked with icons: Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, The White Stripes, Soundgarden, Bad Company, and Joe Cocker, but Zevon's induction provided the night's emotional high point. Unlike some overproduced segments of the show, his tribute was stripped down and deeply human. Letterman's speech was intimate. The Killers' performance was fiery and full of love. Even the visuals, a montage of Zevon's handwritten lyrics, live performances, and interviews, reminded everyone why his artistry endures. When the performance ended, Brandon Flowers looked skyward and said simply, "This one's for Warren." The entire crowd stood in ovation, many visibly emotional. Zevon's family reacts. Zevon's son, Jordan Zevon, accepted the award on his father's behalf. Fighting back tears, he expressed gratitude that the world was finally giving his dad the respect he deserved. "My father never chased fame," Jordan said. "He chased the perfect song. He believed music should make you laugh, cry, and think, sometimes all at once. I think he'd be proud of tonight." He also thanked Letterman for his decades-long advocacy, joking that his father would have loved the irony of a man who hates awards finally getting one of the biggest honors in music. The music lives on. Since the ceremony, streams of Zevon's music have surged across platforms. Younger fans, discovering him for the first time, are falling in love with his sharp storytelling and unforgettable voice. Meanwhile, longtime listeners are revisiting his albums with renewed appreciation. It's clear that Zevon's songs, from the haunting Desperados Under the Eaves, to the cheeky Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner, still resonate with audiences craving authenticity and craft. In many ways, The Killer's performance served as a bridge, the torch passed from one generation of rock poets to another. Brandon Flowers' heartfelt vocals and Kuning's faithful yet modern guitar work reminded everyone that Zevon's influence is not confined to the past, it's alive and thriving in today's rock landscape. The night's lasting impact. The 2025 Rock Hall ceremony will be remembered for its electric performances and emotional tributes, but none felt more genuine than Warren Zevon's moment. For years, fans had pleaded with the Hall of Fame to right what they saw as a glaring omission. Artists like Billy Joel, Bob Dylan, and Bruce Springsteen had spoken out in support of Zevon's induction. That collective effort finally paid off, and the result was nothing short of transcendent. The Killers, representing a newer generation of rock torchbearers, honored Zevon with fire and respect. David Letterman, the loyal friend, reminded everyone why music is personal, why it connects lives and memories across time. And as the final notes of Lawyers, Guns and Money faded, it was clear, Warren Zevon had finally taken his rightful place among the legends. Final reflection. Warren Zevon's induction wasn't just a correction of history, it was a celebration of the artist's enduring impact on music and culture. His songs, laced with irony and humanity, continue to inspire. The Killers' tribute, played with his own guitar, turned the night into a spiritual passing of the flame. David Letterman's heartfelt words ensured that the man behind Werewolves of London would be remembered not only for his wit, but for his soul. In the end, Zevon's legacy lives on, not in awards or accolades, but in the honesty of his lyrics, the power of his storytelling, and the generations of artists who continue to play his songs loud, proud, and full of life.